This is just the spirit of the slide is that you don't have to make this complicated. I'm giving you a lot of information today, and I'm trying to stay at a high level, and I'm trying to be specific about it. But I think you got to pick a couple formats, like social, for instance. I might run a small campaign in search and a small campaign in social to validate what I think is my business goal. And so now the next thing is you need to look at the results, and you can't be. This is an area of the business I think is really important to walk directly into, because it's easy to look at a report and cross your finger and not understand what it's telling you. And so you need skill to actually look at this stuff and read it. Even as, I can't read all the quant stuff that we produce, but I can kind of study and understand what it's telling you in the business. You try to pick out the things it's talking to you about. It's, hey, you converted really well in this area. People who like this bought your stuff. Great, well, I need to do it. So it's kind of like accounting. I don't like accounting. And I have people who do that for us, but I also need to be able to read a balance statement and a cash flow statement and kind of understand that stuff. And I as a CEO, often I just quit my strategic weaknesses, and I only do things I'm really good at, and I feel good at. But I still need to be knowledgeable. And the answer in what you're doing now, since you're running your own company, you need to understand the metrics of performance. And what I'm saying is, courageously walk directly into your knowledge and understanding of what your metrics are telling you. Honestly, it's one of the things where you just have to do the work over your sleeves. You might not know all the answers, but you should be able to read a report and say, oh, it's telling me something, because it'll actually shape every other aspect of your conversation. What your app does, what you're going to communicate to the marketplace. When you go do your goal-based conversations with other people you think, you're going to ask them different questions. But if you don't have even a basic understanding what the report is telling you, like a market test, then you're still biased. And bias can kill your company. You need people to tell you, validate it for you. Go ahead.
So I know you don't have very much time. Can you give us just an idea of how you charge and how various different size companies could take advantage of Clickable?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very simple. I'm not here to pitch Clickable, but I know. I'll tell you.
I'm interested.
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So we charge a percentage spend, typically 2 to 5% of whatever you're going to spend on top. And so we have people spending $1,000 a month and people spending $1 million, like big companies, $15 million a month. So it has a very broad array of effects. If you're going to use if you want a ninja to help you do it, that's where the real cost comes in. It can be as little as $500 a month. It could be as much as $2,000 a month, depending on what level of sophistication you want. What I recommend doing is come in armed, because if you do anything, if you learn anything about this conversation is, you need to come in with a very solid thesis of what your goal and who your customer is and the profile of them. Many different channels. And I think you should actually roll up your sleeves and test some of this stuff. Go in and try it. Get frustrated. Try a Facebook account. Try a social account. At the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you can't hand over your business and say, oh, make me successful. You just can't do it. You have to own this. And the reputation, you own that personally. Search these things. You have to deeply understand it so that you may not own all the algorithms that do it, but you need to be the one who's driving the guy. You can never replace someone as the soul of the business and the target to one of my ninjas who do this stuff, my gurus who do this stuff. They could never possibly care more than you do about that. And so you'll get about the answer, and then you got to help them get to the answer.
That's great. I just was wondering, David, say more if you would mind about the third bullet. Time advantage is decision making, not laboring. Tell me what that means.
Well, it means that you have to be able to get to the decision as fast as possible. And so if you have the ability, let's say you're out there self-managing, but I have an algorithm that actually can look at that report for you and say, oh, spend there right now. And it's a click like we do. You go to our website and say, here's a recommendation. Spend more, spend less, retarget, put these keywords in, yes, 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 or no, 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 which is you have to know their business. That can transform things, because the labor of doing the business, you could spend the rest of your life trying to become a master of search and not be able to do it, literally. So the point is, you have to be able to have assistance, the bionic aspect of doing this. And so you still need to be knowledgeable. That's the spirit of my point, about your goal and what it can do for you. So there's a lot more to go here. I'm going to send this. Let me just...
will you send us this?
Yes, I will. But I promise you won't distribute it. So there's a lot of ideas. So this is a whole other... I want to give you my purpose and values as an entrepreneur in a second. Because I think that this is key to being great marketers. And actually, I'm going to send you 2 other decks as well. One is on social marketing, the practical question, like, okay, how do I do it? Because you want to work with Steve to do it, I'm going to give you instructions on how to do that well, both the search and social. 2 separate 20-page PowerPoint slides, super practical. Here's how to start, okay? But it's kind of not as important, in my opinion, as being great at business as what I'm talking about today, which is defining what you're trying to accomplish in being a paying for marketplace. So how this rolls up in how you run your company is something that is about purpose. So we never wrote a vision statement for Clickable, like, or who we're going to, we just felt you don't even earn the right to do it yet. It takes 3 years to even know what you have. You don't even know you don't even know who your customer is, what the market is, what the pain is, what it has to be. You just have a passion about this space. And so the purpose that your company tries to accomplish in your business has to be drop dead clear. Okay? And so our purpose at Clickable is we empower our customers, the end customer, to survive and thrive by making online advertising simple. And so we're transparent. We're the opposite of Google in a way. We are accessible, transparent, simple. Okay? Profound ideas. But at the end of the day, we put food on the table. We have my town hall with all 140 people is in 3 hours. We're going to have testimonials. They're going to come up. I'm going to give an update for last month. I'm going to do a summary of the board meeting with my COO, and we're going to bring customers up, and they're going to say, you guys paid my mortgage, you kept employees, you put food on the table, you made GE uses us. You helped get more mortgages, I mean, literally. All the way down to, so the point is that, like, your work and what you're doing has to be deeply meaningful to you and how you market the world, how you tell your story. Otherwise, you're just acquisition, you're just trying to acquire, you're trying to make money. And that's fine, or just grow, but it has to be deeply meaningful to the marketplace, and it has to seed your story across lots of things. And so, if you do anything about your goal, that purpose has to be throughout everything, especially this marketplace. You know, BP is getting slaughtered today in the marketplace, but I actually admire them because they have a live camera of the greatest ecological disaster they're on the hook to paying for. I mean, think about that. Would you do that? Would you let me inside your house when you caused the fire and your kids are in it? I doubt it. No, I got 10 minutes. I have to leave in, what time? Oh, it was really my watch is 10 minutes late. Thank you for telling me that. I want to take you 2 minutes. I really need to go. So, let me just close with this. Create purpose. Set some values out in front of you in the company that really, you'll also see this later, but that inform your marketing and everything you do, and tell that story. We're as much about telling about our value marketplace and our selling stuff as we are about our purpose. And people trust us because of our purpose more than they trust, I think, even the product sometimes. So all this stuff matters. So.
Can you just touch one thing about time?
I'm going to pack up. Yep.
That this takes time. And
how much time does it take?
No, it takes time to see results.
Search, you could do that in an afternoon.
No. Time to see the results of search. Like you're not.
An afternoon. I can do it in 2 hours. Search is instant. Super instant. Is that what you're asking?
No, time for
you to see actual results.
In other words, we can be patient. If we do this.
Oh no, I answered your question correctly. No, search is, you can create a campaign.
Right.
That's right. So the data that comes out is 24 hours later.
Right.
But the improvement in our business
You're
is already 2 months later.
You're talking about reputation. You're talking about reputation building over time versus clickable.
I'm actually talking about like ROI versus on
No, I
so it is really instantaneous for search. The SEO part, the reputation of things, is 6 months.
Okay.
That's the answer you're looking for, which is that's the commitment to the time it takes to do this. But the search stuff is like, that's a light switch.
Right.
If you want the turning the light switch on can be really expensive, but the lights will go on. The results may be not great, but it'll work. And you may realize that the cost acquisition is too high. But so get Max in next. I'll send this deck out that we have.
Thank you.